Do you know the difference between sustainable palm and dirty palm, or what those terms even mean? In today's episode, I'm going to share some information about the palm oil industry and what this organization, RSPO, is doing to make it more sustainable so you can decide. I'm Casey, and I help busy women look and feel their absolute best by detoxing their personal care routines in easy, manageable steps. If you are new here, please consider subscribing because I'll put out a new episode each and every week. Now, palm oil is a hot topic, and it is in everything. I did not realize until I started doing a little bit of this research that I'm going to share with you today that it is in everything in our house. It's in our pantries, our cabinets, our foods. It's also in our detergents. It's in our personal care routines, which is obviously the big hit for me. And it's not always labeled as palm oil. So it'll often be labeled with these other terms or these and other ingredients. But basically it is in everything in our homes. The problem that you've probably heard about is that traditional farming or harvesting of palm oil is leading to this huge, massive destruction on our earth. It's creating a lot of deforestation in the rainforest, and there are a lot of animals, specifically orangutans, who are being wiped out completely because of these unsustainable or dirty palm practices of harvesting. Now, it sounds pretty grim, and you've probably seen some pretty tragic, heartbreaking photos of orangutans in the rainforest and what this dirty palm harvesting has done to their habitats. But I'm going to share some information for you today about the palm oil industry and why we might not want to just turn our heads and boycott this industry completely, how we can make some steps to make that harvesting more sustainable and lead by example and put the pressure on these big corporations who are using it in massive amounts so that we can do it in a sustainable way that's healthy for the animals and our environment. First, if you haven't downloaded my 5 easy steps to detox your makeup bag, you're going to want to do that. It is a great resource to help you become a more educated and conscious consumer in the personal care industry, because this palm oil ingredient is just one of a small list of many ingredients that are very important and that you'll need to make some important decisions on. So I've hopefully made that really easy for you. Over on my blog, there'll be a yellow button right below this video, and I'll put the link to that blog right in the YouTube description below. Go over and grab that guide right now so that you can start to get some of the juicy insider secrets of this crazy industry. So sustainable versus dirty palm. Basically, dirty palm is in reference to the practices of harvesting palm oil that are leading to this huge deforestation and destruction of the rainforest and the habitats of the orangutans. The sustainable palm is in reference to practices that are actually helping with that process to make it more sustainable and not lead to destruction and harm in the rainforest and the habitats of the orangutans and all the animals that are impacted by this industry. So I want to shine a little light on both and let you decide for yourself. There is an organization called RSPO, and it is the Round Table for Sustainable Palm Oil. It's a global initiative that was created in 2004, so it's really actually very new, which is exciting. And what they have done is they've put together a board of directors who are actively working and responding to real life instances of what's going on in this industry and how they can make it more sustainable. They are leading the industry and leading this global initiative on finding practices that are more sustainable and economically and socially feasible for the palm oil industry. Right now, they've actually made a lot of headway since they were created or founded in 2004. There's 40% of all the palm being harvested is RSPO certified. My claim or my stance is that by supporting this global initiative to make palm more sustainable, then we can have a positive impact on how it's being done. Because the reality is there are these big corporations like Nestle, Hershey, L'Oreal, big corporations that are harvesting palm in massive amounts. By putting the pressure on them to become certified with RSPO, then we can help them take their practices from really dirty harvesting to more sustainable ones. And this organization is put together by a board of directors with everybody who is involved in the process of harvesting palm. So everyone from growers all the way down the supply chain to retailers. And what they have put together is 8 criteria that need to be met in order to be certified as sustainable palm harvesting. So here are some of my thoughts on why we want to continue to support and use palm, but to do it in a more sustainable way. Number one, if we just use other oils instead, it's not going to be as sustainable. There are some really valid reasons why we want to use palm oil, and one of them is that it produces more oil per unit of land than other carrier oils like soybean or canola or grapeseed. To put it in perspective, palm oil produces 4 to 10 times more oil per unit of land. In comparison, let's say the soybean oil that is already being harvested right now is responsible for more than double the deforestation that palm is, and that's what's already in production. So if we were to stop using palm and use more soybean, we would be deforesting more land. Another advantage of palm is that it uses less fertilizers and pesticides than other oil production, so you can actually get a cleaner oil and use less contaminants. There are already companies like Whole Foods, which I love, which will only sell products that use RSPO certified palm. So like I said, I really want to leave it up to you kind of what your thoughts are, but I think that there are these big corporations and companies that use a ton of palm. They are harvesting them with these dirty palm practices, and I think that if we continue to support the RSPO organization and the efforts that they are putting forth, then we can put the pressure on those big corporations to become certified, and we can get that last 60% of palm oil that is being harvested in dirty ways to be harvested in more sustainable ways. Like I said in the beginning, if you care about being a more educated and conscious consumer on all of these topics, then I encourage you to download my 5 easy steps to detox your makeup bag, and I'll put that in a very clear to see easy yellow button right below this video on my blog, and I'll link that blog in the YouTube description below. So question of the week is really, you decide. Tell me, do you think it's worthwhile to support the sustainable practices that are being put forth by RSPO and to continue to use palm oil, or do you think that we should boycott it completely? I would love to hear from you. As always, if you got any value from today's episode, please comment, like, and share, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode. Take care.